Thank you for tuning in to Entertain the Geeky, your source for nerd news.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Jason back at you with more nerd news. So it's been a while since it's been a month exactly. Apparently today is a month since Kingdom Hearts 3 hit stores and entered our lives. And here to discuss Kingdom Hearts 3 is my video game aficionado, Mike Capuano.
It's me, Mikey-o. I'm here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm back.
Oh my gosh. How did I not know you were going to do that?
Full of surprises. Much like the series.
Yeah, so we are going to be getting into a little bit of spoilery territory about the game, and it's been a month, so if you haven't played it, what are you doing with your life? Go out, play it. It's fantastic. It's very much worth your time to kind of see everything come together and then raise some new questions about the future. But we are going to get into spoilers, so if you haven't played the game, go play the game, come back, listen to us rant about it a little later. Overall impressions.
Overall impressions? Man, that's right out the bat, really?
Yep.
Satisfied. I'm really, really satisfied with how everything turned out. I would definitely say this was the most anticipated game ever for me.
For a lot of us, yeah.
I've been playing games for nearly all of my 35 years, so yeah,
me too.
This was a big deal. I have been with this series since it first came out in 2004? 2002?
Yeah.
2002. September 2002. We're getting old, so it's harder to pinpoint that stuff.
It's harder to remember those.
I remember hearing about it, seeing like some talk about it in Electronic Gaming Monthly. Remember that? Yeah.
I had a subscription to that.
Yeah.
I had every issue of that magazine.
I just remember hearing about this game that's be coming out, and I actually went back into what was that place called? Funkoland?
Funkoland video games.
We're in the Funkoland.
We're gonna give you a shout out, even though you don't exist anymore.
Right? Yeah, Northwest Plaza.
Yep.
Went into Funkoland and got that pre-order, and got it day of in 2002, and just I've loved this big, dumb, ridiculous series
for
its entirety. I mean, I totally recognize just how insane and just completely ludicrous so much of it is, and I love every moment of it.
Yeah.
And so, this game, when it was officially finally announced in 2013, I was super, super excited. I think that you probably would agree. This felt like it may never come.
Oh yeah. I mean, we waited the better part of a decade for this game to come out.
I mean, and that, we had lots of the handhelds and everything in there.
I mean, in all reality, though, how many people got to play all the games that actually came out? Well, that's what I'm saying, though, right? But when you look at how many cross-platform things were happening at the time, there was a lot of people that you first introduced me to this game with my PlayStation, my PlayStation 2, and then you're expecting me to buy a DS and buy a 3DS or PSP.
Yeah,
and,
honestly.
We had one console at a time in my household.
The DS, I bought that for 358 over 2 days. And I bought my PSP for Birth by Sleep.
Sure.
I did not get my 3DS for Dream Drop Distance, though. I got that for Pokemon. but it was nice that Dream Drop Distance was on there.
Yeah. But so a lot of people have relied on, other people who've played the game and internet videos to kind of catch them up on the things they may have missed. And then as we got closer to the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, we got remasters of pretty much everything. Some of them are just told to you in cutscenes.
Yeah, just like a couple hour long cutscenes.
Yeah, watch this for a couple hours and you'll be caught up.
For, the
358 over 2 days.
And recoded.
Yeah, we're just told to you in cutscene form.
Which is fine. I mean...
They made them look like the PlayStation 2 games.
Sure.
Cool, right? We're upgrading the graphical style.
I would love to have a remastered version of 358, honestly. But anyway, to get back to your initial question, I was satisfied. I can honestly say that despite any imperfections, and there are quite a few, I loved the experience, and it felt like a great ending point. I think that it leaves things open for the future that I'm really, really excited about.
Right.
And I loved it enough that I immediately turned around and, after I beat it on standard, went right into my 100% proud mode, which I've completed, platinumed, and 100%. It did everything there is to do in the game.
He did.
Kind of has left me in a little bit of a funk. I
what do I do now?
Right.
It's all over.
I have so many games I haven't played, but like, I guess just mind and body, I just want to keep doing more with Kingdom Hearts 3. And I currently can't, but
as we're talking, we have heard that, you know, they are going to release story DLC that will kind of wrap some things up and maybe set a few more things in motion for the future of the series. And they're also going to put a critical mode. So
I need it.
Yeah,
I need it in my life.
If proud mode wasn't hard enough for you, or wasn't enough of a more of a challenge than playing the original game, you will have a critical mode to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, I need that. Proud mode was, to me, it was even easier than standard, just because at this point I knew what I was doing. What were your overall thoughts?
The game mechanics, yeah. I mean, so for me, I was excited about the game releasing. I mean, it was definitely one we picked up the day it came out. We were very excited. I loved the game, but I experienced the game a little differently probably than most people did, because my wife is a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts as well, and she doesn't know all the story of some of the other games. So we sat and we did the prologues and stuff, and I played through the older games that she hadn't seen so that she could understand the story. And even still, there was moments where I had to like pause and explain something. She was like, well, what are they talking about there? I don't understand that. And there's even things I didn't understand, right? But the reality is I am happy with the game because I experienced it at a slower pace. And I will tell you why. Because my wife enjoys the game so much that she didn't want me to go anywhere new without her sitting in the room. She didn't want to she wanted to see that next cutscene, right? Just as bad as I did.
But you would continue to play it.
I would.
You just wouldn't progress the story.
No, yes.
Which led to a very, very different in-game experience for the two of us, because I believe you said when you finally went in to tackle the end, you were like, what, level 82?
80.
Or you were level 80? Yeah. I was level 42. Yeah. So
I usually, when I'm leveling up, I hit a milestone. And when I hit that milestone, I stop. So for me, I usually go up by 5 levels every time, or at least 10. Mm-hmm. So I was stopping at the 80 or the 70s, 80s, or 75, 85, so on. So when I got to 80, I figured, that's enough. We're gonna go do the ending tomorrow night. We'll see what goes on. But so in that regard, I got to experience the game at a much slower pace than I guess most people did, and especially you did.
Yeah, I finished it in. Let's see, the game came out on what was it? A Tuesday?
It was a Tuesday.
Well, I guess it was Monday night. Yeah, so Monday night I started playing immediately, and I was finished on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was done by Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
I literally took a week of vacation for it, and I only need.
Oh, I remember.
I really only need 2 days.
Right. But so yeah, I got to experience the game at a much slower pace, and I got to over prepare for the next challenge. Right. So I was always at least 10 levels or so ahead of the recommended level, requirement for the next spot. So like the recommended level requirement for that final world, I think is like 45 or something like that.
I was a little under level.
Yeah, I mean, I was at 80 before I even set foot in the Keyblade Graveyard.
Every new world, I was always a little underleveled.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it made for a really fun experience for me. Got to play a little bit more strategically, as opposed to my Proud Mode run, where I just melted everything, waffle stomped.
Yeah, waffle stomp is a word I've heard you use to describe it.
Yeah.
But so for me, like I said, I love the game, and I got to experience it a little slower. I really got to appreciate the nuances in the side quest stuff, collecting all the treasure chests, finding all the Mickey emblems. I even had, jams. Actually, I was playing late night one night, and he wanted to play the game, but he didn't get a chance to because he just didn't buy it, didn't have the money to pick it up. So he would often apparently message his friends and ask if he could observe, which is something you can do on PlayStation, right? Your friends can just observe you playing a game. I didn't know that until I got a message saying James would like to observe you playing a game, and I was just like, for real? All right. So I accepted it, and you got
to bring your game now, man.
Right?
You got to impress.
Well, Steven, I was on Pirates of the Caribbean at the time, and I was leveling up the Leviathan to max. So I was really just rolling around on the sea doing pirate stuff, exploring islands.
That's pretty great, though.
Shooting pirate ships. So he pretty much just got to sit there while I was grinding in the Caribbean, But so yes, overall, I think it's a good ending to the whole Xehanort
Seeker of Darkness,
Organization 13, all of these things that have come out of this. It's a great ending to all of that. The problem I have is it immediately undermines the conclusion by setting up things for the future. And while I think that's great, and I like seeing things set up for the future, I really felt like this game was going to have more of a solid conclusion than it did. And again, maybe they'll flesh that out with DLC. Maybe we'll get to see that. So my overall impression of the game is I loved it. I just felt like it wasn't exactly the conclusion I thought it would be. And a lot of, I mean, even in the end game, if you didn't watch back cover on 2.8, if you weren't playing that mobile game that you've told me about and
who
showed
are
me
all these
videos
furries?
right, like it's like, who are these people? Not to mention the fact that the little kid who helps you when you're in the Keyblade graveyard,
Yeah.
I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, see, I'm way too big of a Kingdom Hearts nerd, so like all these things like were resonating with me.
Now, see, things that happen in the main games, like when we reunite Roxas with Shion and Axel, that was beautiful because I watched these people become friends and then fall apart.
Yeah, like that stuff, those big note things, like
seeing Aqua and Ven reunite with Terra.
Oh god, the whole my wife was sitting in there watching me play when I rescued Aqua, and you know the line in the opening, "Watch me cry, all my tears." Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
All of them are gone.
Yep.
Like, oh my god,
I cried so many tears in that endgame.
Like, it's super manipulative, right? Like Nomura knows what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna make you cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Shion, she's back. Really, no explanation, but she's back. Although the future DLC they're talking about, that was addressed, like, you know, how he might try to explain a little bit more how Shion, who everyone forgot about, was somehow inducted into the real Organization 13.
Well, you got to look at, too, the fact that one of the things we've seen in the story is he's pulling them out. Xehanort is pulling these characters out of specific times and bringing them here to be part of this final moment. So it could be just he took Shion from before she destroyed herself.
How does he even know about her?
Because young Xehanort's been traveling through time, guiding Sora
I guess he could have seen
the
her.
whole game story.
He could have seen her and been like, oh, who's this? Okay.
I mean,
it'll be good to mess with Sora.
It's enough for me to look at. It's enough for me to go back to the very first Kingdom Hearts game and see that cloaked guy in the cave that says it's all connected and go, that's young Xehanort time traveling. Is it not? It's either young Xehanort time traveling.
It's basic. Okay,
or it's Lucio.
So weird brown cloak guy is basically the formless void that is that becomes the Ansem Seeker of Darkness. So basically, that's his Heartless.
Sure.
Basically, and he takes on that form that we know in the first game once his heart, whatever, connects with
Riku's. Yeah.
Right, so
it's almost as if Riku influences what Ansem ends up looking like, right?
So it's not young Xehanort. It's just, and it's not really Xehanort. It's his Heartless, basically, which was in the body of Terra. And oh god, it's a mess. Ansem's not really Ansem, and Xehanort's not really Xehanort because Xehanort is Terra, and Terra is
So we have multiple versions of him. We have the child who's playing chess with his friend, which is obviously young Xehanort and young Ericus, right? So we have young Xehanort there, and then we have a little older Xehanort who time travels, and then we have Xehanort after he took control of Terra. And then we have Old Man Xehanort, right? So, yes, it's confusing. It stretches on, whatever. It also begs the question, why is Terra's hair the same style as Xehanort's when Xehanort existed with that hairstyle before Terra? Like, there's a whole bunch of weird little questions.
Anime.
Right, there's a whole bunch of weird little questions that I'm like, this doesn't really make sense, though.
I mean, like, seriously, though, like, Nomura, he retconned a lot of stuff. You know, like...
How about the original Terra being inside the Guardian?
I thought that for a long time.
I mean,
I feel like they hinted
people on the internet thought that for a long time too. There's plenty of theories.
My theory about the theories is that was not actually necessarily Nomura's plan, but he liked the theory so much that he made it canon.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I thought to myself, okay, come Guardian. Like I remember that thing. I hate that thing. Yeah. Right. But holy shit!
Him again. I just went back and replayed one. And,
right. Holy shit! Is Terra in there? Yeah. And has he been in there
the whole time?
Since the whole? Yeah. Since all this went down, and then seeing him rip the muzzle off of his mouth so that he could speak. I mean, God, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. Not to mention, I did not think that they could make me feel bad for Organization 13 members after they've been such douches to you the entire series.
So that seemed to be like the modus operandi here. It's like, they even make you feel bad for Xehanort.
Right. In the final moments, you feel bad for these bad guys.
Yeah. They're like, just like...
I mean, Zigbar obviously has a reason because he's actually Lucio, which finally is revealed to us in those final moments that this is the guy who the Master of Masters set off all by himself, who got in an argument with Ava long ago, and basically just went off to do his thing.
And if you think that was just something that was thrown on in this game,
No.
I challenge you to actually go back and look at the secret ending that was expanded on in the PS4 version of Recoded. It's pretty clear that he was up to some no good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not to mention the fact that just all of the things that worked so well, like battling with Terra Xehanort and the lingering will popping up to defend them.
So I've heard kind of mixed bag stuff on this. That some people really loved how you'd be fighting multiple enemies at once, like that should be like big boss enemies.
Oh yeah, I think they had to nerf them though for that to work.
Right, and that's the thing that a lot, like you're fighting all these crazy things that you're like, oh my god, everything's happening and it's all ending, but like you're fighting 3 or 4 at once.
When it was Marluxia, Luxord, and Larxene, I cracked myself. I was like, these are 3 of the hardest Organization 13 members to fight. Are you freaking kidding me?
Now you're fighting all 3 of them.
All 3 of them I have to fight at once?
But their health bars
they're nerfed.
I still loved it. I thought
I did too.
Because just the imagery of these bosses that were all just them before in Kingdom Hearts 2, and now it's like, how am I going to do this?
There's a problem with these fights inherently, though, and I saw a guy do a video on the internet about this.
What, Assassin's Creed syndrome? You beat one, and then they have to give you an exposition while everyone else is just waiting around.
Yes, they do have to do that, but no. He was playing on Proud Mode. Uh-huh. He went into the fight with Marluxia, Larxene, and Luxord, and literally just didn't do anything. Or not Marluxia, because you're only fighting them. Luxord takes Mickey away, so you're fighting that by yourself. I think it was the Riku fight. In any case, he just stood there not doing anything.
Is this where they just keep going around in the circle, not hitting you? I've seen that video.
I mean, he got hit a couple of times, but Riku finishes the fight all on his own.
Oh, okay, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, you can just stand there, let Riku. He was playing on Proud Mode too. He just stood there the whole time, let Riku do all the work, and Riku won the day.
Yeah.
So again, there's clear problems inherent in the idea of nerfing these characters for a big grand battle.
The balancing in the entire game is just a little off, and if you want to, we can get into that whole thing about the gameplay because
sure,
I have thoughts.
So the next thing I'd like to talk about though, before we get into the gameplay, because that I feel like is a whole other thing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yes. I want to talk about the setup for the future.
Okay.
Right? So, again, if you're familiar, if you watched Back Cover, and apparently if you've played some cell phone game, which I never played and had to be completely brought up to speed on by you, and I did watch both those videos. I am caught up to speed. Now I understand everything that's going on.
They just released another video in the last week.
Of course they did.
So there's more stuff.
We're just going to keep adding more to the story and compounding it.
Yeah.
But seeing 4 of the foretellers come back, summoned by Luxu, seeing that he is now in possession of the Master's Keyblade, and that he carries the box with the Book of Prophecy in it.
Well, what makes you think the Book of Prophecies is in there?
The black box is what they've been looking for the whole game.
Right, but they never say that's what's in there.
The black box is said to contain the Book of Prophecy.
The whole point of the black box is that we don't know what's in it.
But no.
A lot of people think the Book of Prophecies could be in there.
But no, it's not even like it's implied. Maleficent thinks the Book of Prophecies is in there. She makes mention of the book. She doesn't know what the book is.
I'm not positive, man.
It doesn't matter. The point is they've been searching for this box. Do we know what's in the box? Maybe not. I'm pretty sure it's the Book of Prophecies.
Testing the Moore is in the box.
I'm pretty sure it's the Book of Prophecies because Luxu's whole task, if you will, his role, was to observe these events and shape them the way they needed to be shaped. Now, my thought is, in order to do that, he would have to know what these events were supposed to be. So I feel like the only person who's actually read the missing pages from the Book of Prophecy is Luxu. Well, and the little guy,
is it Gula? Gula.
Yeah, I don't remember all their names. The little guy who got to see the missing pages because he was searching for the trade.
He got to see, a missing page, right. But it's different.
But I feel like in order to construct these events the way they needed to be, he would have had to have had at least some foreknowledge of what these events were prophesied to be in order to kind of put him in the right direction here. So that's why I feel like he's been in possession of the book. Or at least has read it and is aware of its place.
But if you recall, he's not even allowed to open the box. So if the book's in there, he can't read it.
No, I'm not talking about reading it after it's put into the box. I'm talking about having foreknowledge of the book and reading the book. Yeah. Right? After that, sure, the master has sealed it in the box and you can never open it again. No one can. Yeah. But in any case, it definitely raises questions about what the foretellers have, what their role is now that theoretically all their roles have been fulfilled, right? Luxu was the last to fulfill his role. His role is now done. They all had roles. We watched back cover. The master gave them all a specific thing to do, and that kind of all played out in back cover, except for Luxu, who we were a mystery about, and apparently he's been Zigbar this whole time. I mean, so the question is now, what are they doing? Are they expecting the master to return to them?
Well, yeah, I think so. And I think that you see the first glimpse of that in the second secret movie.
But in that second secret movie, they're not even in a world connected to Kingdom Hearts anymore.
Or are they?
I don't feel like they are. The moon is not shaped like a heart. He even makes a point to make the symbol around it.
But there's a lot of people, and I think that it could be that this is tying into The World Ends With You, which does have a direct correlation with Kingdom Hearts.
Sure.
Because it's pretty clear that Sora has woken up in Shibuya. And, like...
Riku as well.
And that's the setting of The World Ends With You. I think that maybe Sora's going to be, playing in the next Reaper's game. I think that the card that Luxord gives him is going to somehow allow him to do something with that.
Oh, don't even talk about the wild card. I thought that was something I was going to get to use.
Did I say Luxord? They changed it. Is it
Luxord?
Luxord? Yeah, I don't like that. Luxord!
It doesn't matter. The point is, I was actually upset that I didn't get to use that card. He gives you a card. I was just like, final battle.
It's
set up. To use the card in the final battle. That would be awesome. But no.
It's clear. It's clearly set up for whatever the next game is, which is not going to be Kingdom Hearts 4. It's going to be something totally different.
Sure. The reality, though, is even if what you're saying is true, and he's connected these characters to this world, Yozora and the like are not characters that were created from that world. They're characters that were created for a joke in the Toy Story world as video game characters, so Sora would be trusted by them immediately.
So the way I interpreted that is that, so let's just say that like the Yozora character is quote unquote real, right? And that
sure.
So
he's just Riku with Etrichromia.
And then really he's knocked this from Final Fantasy 15, and it's just that Nomura can't let go of Final Fantasy versus 13.
But he looks exactly like Riku. Like the only difference is he's even dressed the same.
Nomura, his characters look alike.
The only difference is Etrichromia.
But I think that like in the Toy Story world, you're seeing just like a fictional version of him. You can't see me air quoting, but a fictional version of this character that actually does exist. It's just a Toy Story's version of it. I don't know though. I mean, I'm pretty sure that second ending is Sora waking up from the consequences of whatever he did to save Kairi.
Sure.
And
Young's power was telling him,
he's like, you can't keep using the power of waking, bro.
You can't use it willy-nilly. Like, it will destroy you.
And I think that it did, quote unquote, destroy him, but
consume him, send him somewhere else.
And I think that just shunted him off into this new area. My question is are they still going to go with all the Disney stuff?
That's the question.
Is Nomura trying to make like Vi to like go more just Squaresoft property?
I feel like Disney won't have that because of how much money this generates for them from the video game side of their business.
Maybe they can do a little bit more with the Square properties because they sure were missing in this.
Yeah, I mean, Radiant Garden is clearly a place we reference, and we see it in cutscenes, but we never actually get to go there.
The only mention of Final Fantasy characters they talk about the 3 attempts in Hades, Olympus, which was Cloud, Auron, and then Terra. And then you get the Moogle, and then you get a Cactuar that falls down in Toy Story.
Yeah. Building the Cactuar was awesome.
Did it bother me? Yeah, it did. I felt like there was a glaring omission.
Yeah, I need Squall, I need Cloud, I need Yuffie, I need, all of them. They're all great.
And I'll grant you that, like, you don't want to bog the story down more than it already is, everything, but I mean, just
letting us go to the world.
Just
letting us go to Radiant Garden and interact with them would have been fine with me, right? Yeah. Even if there's nothing to do in Radiant Garden, if I could just go there.
A mainline Kingdom Hearts game without a Sephiroth battle?
A Sephiroth battle, yeah.
It felt wrong to me.
It did.
Especially
since the secret boss in this game is kind of a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one secret boss right at the end there, and he's kind of a joke.
I see a lot of people complaining, too, because, like, the secret boss typically gives you a hint of what's to come. I see a lot of people saying that this is not the case with this. I'm not so sure. I think that what we fight, I I forget its name. It's like Dark something.
Dark Inferno.
Yeah, Dark Inferno.
Yeah.
So the Ghost Boy that you were like, who is this?
Yeah.
I think that's his Heartless. I think that's Ephemer's Heartless, and I think that is tying into that next saga, which is going to have a lot to do with the foretellers and everything.
Well, right. I mean, we can look at the fact that a lot of even the Organization 13 members are people that lived in that time.
So
they're original Keyblade wielders.
Oh, more setup that doesn't pay off because it's just setup. They talk about the 4 of them that that hold the ancient Keyblade War secret.
Yeah,
Larxene, Marluxia, Demyx, and Luxord. And they don't really elaborate on that. But if you are paying attention to the mobile game, you see that they have revealed Lorium and whatever they named her, Relena or something like that.
Yeah.
Which are obviously their quote unquote somebodies. We also have Ben, in there. The only one we haven't seen is Demyx yet.
Right.
But it's pretty obvious that that's where they're from.
That's where Larxene developed her crush on Marluxia, which obviously is evident when you're playing Recoded. Which one was it? Which one where you went to
Chain of Memories?
Chain of Memories. When you went to Castle Oblivion and Marluxia was.
She clearly,
she's got a thing for it. But if you look at the mobile game, because I was watching the videos that you sent me, that's where that relationship first developed, right? They were original Keyblade wielders, part of Ava's clan, I believe. I don't remember which clan they were a part of.
They're dandelions, which Ava created, basically.
Right, Ava creates the dandelions. They're from all the clans.
Yeah,
we've got the best Keyblade wielders.
Exactly.
I think that the 2 of them started out as just part of her clan before they were recruited to be dandelions. Yeah, is according to the video I watched. But so there's one thing that we can be certainly clear about at the very end of the secret movie is the Master of Masters has returned.
Yeah, I mean
it's obvious he's the one standing there making the heart symbol over the moon. We've seen him do that before, right? That was in back cover, yeah. So the one thing we can be clear on, no matter how much speculation you can have about where the series is going, what they're going to do, the Master of Masters is back, which can't be good.
The silly mobile game that a lot of you probably don't pay attention to is going to be really important.
Right. So, the question too becomes: is the Master of Masters benevolent? Because
no,
he didn't. But I mean, when you look at back cover, this man doesn't seem like a bad guy. He's very lighthearted.
Exactly, it's misdirect. He has bad motives.
Right. So we can look at him and think, that he's more of a malevolent presence or more of a benevolent presence. We haven't seen him outright do anything evil, though. That's my only defense of him maybe being benevolent.
He set all of his, pupils against one another.
Yes, but that was because of the growing power that Keyblade wielders were starting to hold.
And what did it result in? A war.
Well, I understand that.
I think that. I mean,
but even though
he's been the true villain.
I feel like the gift of prophecy is a double-edged sword, right? Does he know the war is coming? Sure, but he can't prevent it. He has to encourage it to happen. He has to make sure that it will happen as prophesied. So does that make him a bad guy, or does that make him somebody who doesn't want to break reality?
Good question.
Exactly.
I don't know, but I think
I think he might be a bad guy,
especially with what they pulled with Xehanort at the last moment.
Right. Redeeming him in some way.
Oh, to a point. It's like this whole time I just wanted to have a balance. Okay. Also, can we talk for a moment that Leonard Nimoy was irreplaceable, and
Rutger Hauer is amazing.
Rutger Hauer is awesome.
He's so good.
He was such a bad Xehanort.
He was.
He was so bad.
I think that's because
he sounded like an old man.
But that's because
the ancient Keyblade War.
But I think that's because every other game that has Xehanort in it, we've heard Leonard Nimoy do the voice.
True.
This is the first game where he wasn't around.
They stump cast it a little bit to me. There's like, let's just get a name. He did so bad. It threw me. And the way he said, Keyblade.
Yeah.
Like, blade. Oh, God, it's laughable to me.
It is beautiful to me that we got Mark Hamill back.
But that's beautiful.
As Master Ericus again. How awesome was it that Master Ericus was hiding inside Terra?
So, it's awesome, but let me ask this. If Terra got Norded, then, and like for 10 years, right? For 10 years. So is Ericus just like going around like, Terra, you butts, this whole time?
I mean, let's think about the fact
and also he gets split. Like,
right. But let's think about the fact that Ven's traveling in Sora's heart for the same amount of time, and Sora has fallen to darkness.
That's true.
Sora turned into a Heartless, right? Like, so The heart's just tagging along. Look, in fact, it seems like the other person isn't even aware that.
I apologize for this brief moment of wanting logic in this series.
Yeah,
there's none to be.
You're asking too much of Kingdom Hearts if you're looking for logic.
And that's often why it's made fun of and criticized.
That's why I love it.
But I love it too.
That's why it's so silly and amazing.
It's like
when Mickey is a super badass. That's amazing.
Kingdom Hearts for me just represents this just more innocent time. It came out at a time, where like I was a little bit lost. I was 18 years old.
Sure.
Didn't really know what my direction was in life. Still living at home with mom. Just kind of like what am I going to do with myself? And just kind of feeling down about like not having that direction. And here comes this silly game that just reminded me of my childhood. Had this character that was just positivity. Who, that he wasn't even supposed to be the Keyblade wielder. That Riku was supposed to be the Keyblade wielder, but through sheer positivity and will alone, Sora manages to go on and be this awesome hero. I'm like, dude, I can do that, right? I want to be Sora.
It's why when Sora breaks the whole Keyblade graveyard sequence in the game, I was just like, this is not. It's like you don't believe that. Right. He says, "We're finished. It's all over," and Riku just says, "You don't even believe that. You're a liar." Yeah. And it works, right? Like it works because.
I was glad to see it because honestly, we never do see Sora.
Right. I was also glad to finally see fucking Donald Duck be a straight up sorcerer.
Yeah.
When he busted out his Terra Flare or Zeta Flare or whatever the hell he called it. Not to mention seeing Mickey be a sorcerer, busted out Ultima against Zeta.
They held nothing back at the end, right?
Are you kidding
They're
me?
just like everybody's going for broke.
When Riku stopped Mickey from using time magic, I was like, "What are you doing, Riku? I want to see Mickey stop time right here."
I do have a couple of characters to point out though that were really undercooked and underutilized and just disappointing with what the setup was. Kyrie and Axel.
Yeah.
Like they got the shaft. More so Kyrie.
Yeah. Kyrie doesn't even and I thought this was gonna change who Kyrie was as a character, and she still ends up being the damsel in distress.
She's both a MacGuffin and just a fridge moment.
Not to mention Xemnas banishes Axel's Keyblade.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that
he gets it back later.
I mean, he does get it back
He's
later.
Just like, that's back.
He does get it back later, which doesn't make any sense based on what was the context of that scene was.
I just pause. I just love that phrase when we're talking about Kingdom Hearts. That just doesn't make sense. It's Kingdom Hearts, nothing. Right. Unpause.
And then Xemnas, in that moment saying, "Is this a Keyblade or are you joking?" Yeah. Right? Like, is this some kind of joke? Yeah. He just banishes it.
It's just and here's the thing, right?
They set him up to be.
They had a hyperbolic time chamber, Jason.
They did.
They had DBZ fighting time.
They did.
They could have trained forever.
Centuries. Yeah.
And literally,
no time would have passed.
You know what we get to see? Kyrie kills a Heartless.
It's true.
One.
It's true.
That's it.
And then she goes all.
She got the shaft, man. Yeah. And this was the time to really make her into something.
She's a guardian of light. Like that was what I thought meant something, right? These are the guardians of light. These are not damsels in distress anymore. They wield Keyblades now.
And she ultimately does help Sora.
She does.
Refine himself.
She's the light that guides him to finding his friends.
Which is cool, right? But I want to see her proactive, not reactive, and not just get used as a tool to motivate Sora.
Yeah, and Axel is great. Like Axel is such a flippy floppy character, but I freaking love him.
Oh, he's absolutely my favorite.
Yeah, he's flippy floppy. Like sometimes he's a bad guy, sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes he doesn't even know what's going on.
He breaks the fourth wall so much, dude.
He does.
Like just
I got all kinds of people rooting for me.
Yeah,
I'm super popular. I was just like, he's talking to us.
Yeah, right.
He's talking about
so
us.
Great.
We love him.
Yeah, it's so great. Like, but. Yeah, the story. It's anyone that wants to bash on this particular game, because I'm seeing a lot of it saying like there's all this. It's the same thing it's always been. It's a big, stupid, awesome mess.
It is,
and I love it.
It is, and they attempt and they succeed. I'm not even going to say attempt. They succeed at kind of reining it all in.
They resolve so much
and bringing it all back together while still engaging you for future games, right? So yeah, I mean, if you've been playing Kingdom Hearts, even if you've just played 1 and 2, in all reality, right, I would recommend playing 3.
With Play Birth by Sleep.
Okay.
I argue that if
then you also should play 358 over 2 days because Shion and Roxas and Axel are just as important to the story.
Birth by but you get some Shion whatever, but
Shion's amazing. Don't be hating on Shion.
Who? That's joking. But Birth by Sleep though I feel just has the most important crucial stuff that is addressed in this. Kingdom Hearts 2, you get an idea of Axel and Roxas still.
Yeah.
So, Shion, that's fine. But Birth by Sleep is super important. To me, Birth by Sleep always felt like Kingdom Hearts 3, before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sure.
It was the most mainline entry that didn't have a number.
Also, I mean, immediately within the game's story, they're referencing Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
Dream Drop Distance is only important because of the Mark of Mastery exam, which Riku passes and Sora fails. And the 13 Darknesses and 7 Lights get set up in that game. And freaking Maleficent and Pete searching for the black box gets set up in that game.
Yeah. That's in Recoded.
Recoded is where they set that up. Right? My bad. Recoded. There's too many goddamn games.
Look, there's like 13 of these things.
I know. There's too many games.
Yeah, we just got 3, but there's really 13. Yeah.
But so overall, I think it's a good gaming experience. In all reality, it's just fun. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't. At the end of the day, if you go in and there's something you're confused by and you want to look it up, there's millions of people that have made videos that will explain to you the whole plot of this game in 10 minutes.
And it is just fun. Just the combat and everything. It's a blast.
Yeah, it really is.
Easy?
Not to mention, but not to mention the Disney Worlds. The Disney Worlds are heartwarming. If you're a Disney fan in any facet, you want to go hang out in the toy box with Buddy, with Wuz and
with Buddy,
that's their future. Buzz. And you want to go to Monsters Inc. land and see Boo and hear her yelling Kitty because she's cute as hell and it's adorable and she was the best part of that movie.
What was your favorite world?
I know that yours is Pirates of the Caribbean.
And I was shocked because that was the one I looked forward to the least.
Yes. I do think Pirates of the Caribbean is great, but I think my favorite world is probably overall the Monsters, Inc. world.
Right on.
Not only because, first of all, the Unversed give you a crazy amount of experience that early on in the game. Yeah. That's where to stay and level up for a while.
That's where you do it. Okay.
Yes. Those big turtle things are worth like 600 experience fees. And they pop up all over the whole map, right? Not to mention the fact that of all the movies that we have, there's some that we've done worlds for that I've seen and some that we haven't. Monsters, Inc. is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
Nice.
Not just because I think, John Goodman is great, Billy Crystal is great. I love Boo. That little girl is the heart and soul of that story, and it's the best reason to watch that movie.
That's awesome. And the reason I find it awesome is because, number one, Monsters, Inc., not one of my favorites.
Right.
That world, not one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. That's cool to me, though. I love that, one of the worlds that wasn't really the one that connected with me did with you.
Yeah.
Because that shows that, that there's love and care that's crafted into every one of the worlds. For me, though, Pirates is pretty awesome. I will give Monsters a lot of credit, though, for the same reason that I like Toy Box as well as Big Hero 6, is that there are original stories in each of those.
Yep.
That's really cool. And
we didn't just follow the movie story.
When I played back through the game a second time, honestly, I did appreciate that a lot because playing through Frozen, it's literally just
it's the movie.
Frozen.
Yeah.
But it's not even
it's a shot-for-shot remake.
As good of a version of Frozen. Yeah. Same thing with Tangled. And I loved the Tangled world. It was a fun world. A lot of fun for me. But
some of my favorite enemies were in that world.
Yeah, it was a cool world to explore for me. But it's just the movie minus a lot of the scenes with Sora, Donald, and Goofy just kind of being weird voyeurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw somebody do a comparison video, and I obviously had to mute it because I can't stand here and let it go. It's such a terrible, overplayed song.
It's a great song that I never want to hear again.
I never want to hear it again. So I had to mute it, but somebody did a side-by-side comparison video with the scene from Frozen and the scene from Kingdom Hearts, and I'm going to tell you, aside from the reaction shots from Sora, they're the exact same scene.
I mean, it's literally they just put Sora in there.
I mean, I feel like they just got the Pixar animators and said, look, just do this scene again for our game.
This?
Yeah.
Did you see that they had that weird image, the watermark? They had a watermark that they left in on Elsa. That was pretty funny, I thought.
But so, I mean, it's, to kind of just wrap it up, great game, worth playing. I will say one negative that really just sticks in my craw and will stick in my craw forever.
See if we can get it out of that craw.
Winnie the Pooh.
That sucked.
Winnie the Pooh is terrible.
Yeah.
It's one area. It's one area. I love Winnie the Pooh. Not only because I love Winnie the Pooh, right, but because it was such a relaxing place to just go and have fun in the game world. To not have to worry about enemies constantly. To just go, we're just going to hang out with Pooh. We're going to do cool mini games.
You can finish it in 15 minutes in this, and all you do is play 3 versions of the exact same Facebook mobile game.
And you never have to go back. The only reason I ever had to go back was to get emblems and honey. This is the only place in the game you can get honey.
That's true.
And you need honey for one of the recipes.
Yeah.
Other than that, no reason to go back there.
Did you ever even use the recipes? Did you ever cook?
No.
Yeah.
I cooked all the food.
I did it for an achievement.
Yeah, I cooked all the food. I have one of everything. Yeah. And I did them all excellent.
They gave it, maybe in critical mode. That's going to be a huge...
But I never ate them. I never needed to.
Yeah. Likewise.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up, though. But thank you, Mike, for coming on and sharing your love of this with us.
Of course. I love the series, dumb as it is. I'm glad that you do, too. It's always great to talk about and reminisce about just how crazy this series has been. And hey, next game we'll talk some more.
Yeah, I do want to say in the future, because there's a couple of games I've been wanting to review, and you just came to me today with the idea of, look, I could review another game that I have sitting on my shelf that I've been wanting to review for a while. It's Resident Evil 2. So I'm gonna need you to not be scared.
Oh god,
not be scared and go through Resident Evil 2.
I'm scared, guys. I'm scared.
He's having the same kind of anxiety that I have. I have anxiety when I play these games. In fact, my wife laughs at me all the time. When we were going through 8 or 7, I keep saying 8. I don't know why.
Resident Evil 8.
Keep saying 7 or keep saying 8, but it's 7. And there was literally moments where I had such anxiety about just going through the next door. Because, look, there's going to be something over there. There's going to be something trying to kill you. It's going to scare you.
Jason, I couldn't even play Mario 64 by myself because the eel. I can't. Oh, I need somebody to be with me when I play these games.
So what we're gonna do?
My wife's not into this. So
what we're gonna do is we're gonna have one of the times I'm gonna come over to you. One of the times you're gonna come over to me. But we're gonna get through all of Resident Evil, right?
Okay.
We're gonna get through it.
I'm scared.
So that in the future we can sit down and we can review it because it's a great game, and I really would like to talk about. Because you're also somebody who played the original.
I did.
And that's a unique perspective.
I wasn't so afraid back then. Right. I guess they weren't as realistic.
They weren't as real.
I could deal with it.
But I want to talk about the perspective from a person who was alive in 1998 and played this game.
Oh, so old ass guy like me.
Right. Because I'm an old ass guy too. And I played the original game, and it's my favorite Resident Evil game.
Team mid-30s.
Yes. It's my favorite Resident Evil game, and I really would like to talk about differences, what's the same, what's different. Earlier we talked about the item zapping system where you would leave something so that the person who's coming into the police station behind you in the second playthrough can pick it up.
That would be cool.
These are things that I would like to get into, so I'm going to need you. I need
you
to get through this game. We're going to get through it, and we're going to review it in the future. Everybody keep your ears open for that.
Okay.
All right. But thank you for sitting in with us. Thanks again to Mike. If you're digging what we're putting down here, do me a favor. Head on over to entertainthegeeky.com. Check out the website. We've got trailers and articles about trailers and articles about nerdy stuff that we love. Check out the shows there. My podcast is there, with all the archived episodes, and the Entertain the Geeky podcast. And Chris has got a new podcast that you should check out. It's called Who Wears the Pants. He's doing it with our good friend Mike Brodeur, and it's super funny.
I'm not wearing pants.
It's you don't wear the pants, or you're not wearing pants?
I'm not wearing pants.
Okay, he's not wearing pants, folks.
The pantaloons.
If you like, you can follow us on the social media, facebook.com/entertainmentgeeky. If Twitter's more your social media of choice, we're there as well, @entertaingeeky. You can find us on Instagram, all of those places. Thanks again for sitting in to listen with us, and until next time, guys, stay geeky.